Hello friends, this is Janani and I am going to teach about Indian art and architecture. The book which I used to refer for the notes is Nitin Singhania. Let's get started. The first chapter is about Indian architecture, sculpture and pottery. So, what is meant by architecture? Architecture is a Latin word. It is derived from a Latin word tecton, which means builder. If you see about Indian architecture, it is a story of evolution. So, Indian architecture is classified into three categories, namely Ancient India, Medieval India and Modern India. Ancient India. If we come to Ancient India, it is in turn classified into five subcategories, namely Harappan art, Mauryan art, Post-Mauryan art, Gupta age art and South Indian art. In this video, we are going to see about Harappan art and architecture. I might think that you have already learned Indus civilization in ancient India, so I'm just going to give a quick revision about it. Indus civilization is also known as Bronze Age civilization. It gets the name Bronze Age civilization because this period witnessed the emergence of bronze and it is widely used among all the people in Indus. Harappan civilization emerged on a bank of river Indus and spread across large part of present Western India and Pakistan. While excavating these sites, large number of sculptures, seals, potteries and jewelries were found. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro are the two major sites of this civilization which are among the earliest and the finest examples of urban planning. The planned network of roads, house, drainage system indicate the planning and engineering skills that are developed even those early times. Coming to architecture, Harappans used burnt bricks for architecture and burnt bricks are of standard dimension in the ratio of 1:2:4. That is, if the height is 1 time and the breadth will be 2 times more than that of dirt and the length will be 4 times more than that of height. For your simple understanding, if the length of the brick is 21 cm, then the width might be 14 cm and the height might be 7 cm. Now, when we see about town planning, then the city is divided into two parts, western part and the eastern part. The western part is upraised and is known as citadel. Eastern part is much lower than the west and it is called lower town. In citadel, granaries, administrative buildings and pillared halls are present. Granaries which are used to store the grains. In lower town, the common people with the small constructions are noticed. Even some of the houses have stairs which indicate double-storied house. Most of the building has wells and bathrooms and are properly ventilated. The next important feature is public bath. The best example is Great Bath, which is excavated by John Marshall in Mohenjo-daro. And this bath is surrounded by rooms and there are no cracks or leaks. So it is probably used for the public ceremonies to take bath during rituals. The most striking feature of Harappan civilization is drainage system. The drainage systems are covered loosely to allow the regular cleaning and a proper maintenance. If you see about town, it was laid out in a rectangular grid pattern. The roads ran in north and south and east to west and cut each other exactly at right angles. So these are the important features in architecture in Harappan civilization. If you get any question regarding Harappan architecture in minds, you can straight away write these answers in your answer paper. And now seals. Most often Harappan seals are square. It is also found that triangular, rectangular and circular seals are also used. But most of the seals are square. So it is very much important regarding prelims point of view. So stay focused. If you get any question regarding the shape of an Harappan seal, then the answer will be square. So the material used for making the seal is a soft stone called steatite. It is found along the river bed. Most of the seals have inscriptions in a pictographic script that is yet to be deciphered. The script were written from right to left and left to right in an alternative manner and that is called boustrophodon. Animal impressions were also seen on the surface of the seals. The common animal motifs were unicorn, humped bull, rhinoceros, tiger, elephant, buffalo, bison, goat, etc. However, no evidence of cow, has been found in any cell. So this is again very much important regarding prelims. So the animal which is not found in any cells is cow. So you might be thinking, for what purposes these seals are used? So the answer is, these are primarily used for commercial purposes, especially in trade. And some seals with a hole in the center on them are also found on the dead bodies. And some seals have mathematical images, so which might be used for educational purposes. So these are the purposes of the seals. And if you see any example, then it's a Pasupati seal, which I'll show in next slide. It is a Pasupati seal discovered at Mohenjo-daro. So it represents a human figure which is either cross-legged, and if you see at the head, you will see the three-horned headgear, and he is surrounded by animals. You will find an elephant, tiger on the right side of the figure, and rhinoceros and buffalo on the left side. And two antelopes are also shown below the seat of the figure. You might get a question regarding the animals present in the Pasupati Mahadeva seal, so just give a glance in it. The next is sculpture. If you see about sculpture, bronze figures and terracotta figures are the most prominent sculpture seen in Indus Valley civilization. So if you take bronze figure, it is made by a technique called lost wax technique or a Sidi Perdue. So let me first explain about this technique. Here, the wax figure is first coated with wet clay. Once the wet clay gets dried, and it will be heated, so that the wax inside the clay gets melted and drained out to a tiny hole in the bottom. So now the hollow mold is filled with molten metal, which then cools and solidified, and it takes the original shape as the wax figure. So thus we obtain a bronze figure. Here you will notice a bronze dancing girl. So it is the world's oldest bronze sculpture found in Mohenjo-daro. This figure depicts a naked girl wearing only ornaments, which included bangles in the left arm, an amulet and bracelet on her right arm. She stands in a Tribhanga posture, which is a dancing posture. Terracotta. Terracotta refers to the use of fire-baked clay for making sculpture. So the method used for making terracotta toys is called a pinching method. So for this method, you will be using your hands to shape the clay to get the exact structure what you want. So example, mother goddesses. You will be seeing most of the prominent terracotta toys in a site called Kalibangan in Rajasthan. Here you will find an image of mother goddesses. So look at the head. She'll be wearing the fan-shaped headgear. Potteries. The potteries found in the excavated sites are classified into two kinds: plain pottery and painted pottery. The painted pottery is also known as red and blackware pottery. So again, this is very much important regarding both prelims and mains. So you can get a question like, what kind of pottery is used in Indus Valley? So it is answer is red and blackware pottery. The red color, it is used to paint the background, and the black paint is used to draw designs. So designs might be animal figure, tree, bird, or geometrical pattern. If you see potteries, most of the potteries are wheel-made pottery, and very few are handmade. These potteries are mainly used for three purposes. One, it is in household purposes to store grains and water. And two, it is a decorative purpose, like miniature vessels are used to decorate the home. And third, it's a perforated pots. In perforated pots, you will see some holes, small holes in the bottom or sides of the pot. This is used to strain liquor. Here you look at the pottery. So the first two potteries are painted in the red in background, and it has the black designs. And the last, it is a perforated part which has holes in the side and also bottom. So what is the purpose? To strain liquor. Ornaments. The Harappans used a large variety of materials, from precious stones to even baked clay, to make ornaments. Both men and women wore ornaments like fillet, armlet, necklace, and finger rings. So the Ornaments worn only by women were girdles, earrings, and anklets. If you see in Indus site, you can find a large number of beads. These beads were made from carnelian stones, which means are red stones, are quartz, or steatite. So it is produced on a large scale in Chanhodaro and Lotal. Harappans used cotton and wool, which are spun by spindle ore. So the people of that time were very conscious of fashion. This can be inferred from different styles and beard. You will find in the next slide a bearded man. So look at the figure. So it is excavated from Mohenjo-daro. It's the best example for the fashionable persons of that time. So he's draped on a shawl with a trefoil pattern. The eyes are elongated and off-closed, and he has an armlet on right hand and a fillet across the head. With that, the Harappan art and architecture is completed. Thank you guys. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section. And if you like the video, please subscribe the channel Chalkbuzz and share the video.